Hello, this is AEP 858 Module 5, My Story, and I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit about my school and some ways to be thinking about continuous improvement. So first off, who are we? We're St. George Elementary, located just outside Manhattan, Kansas. We're K through 6 school. We technically have preschool in as well, but on the website it's just listed as K through 6. We are Title I. We have 489 students in K through 6. Here's a chart of the relationship between male and female students, and you can see there that the female student population is declining and the male population is increasing. How we do business, so at St. George Elementary we do multi-age homerooms, so we have first and second grade students together, third and fourth grade students together, and fifth and sixth grade students together. Kindergarten students are separate in their own wing. We rotate around like a middle school a little bit, so students who are in first grade still have class with first grade readers, but we do some grouping to help out with challenging students where they're at. We utilize Ames Web, Renaissance Place, we do guided reading and use the Engage New York curriculum for math. We're a desirable district. We have families that like to move out of Manhattan to get into more of a country feel a little bit. We are a 3A school and we partner with Kansas State. Where are we now? So the next few slides I'm going to be discussing some of our scores in math, English, science, and social studies. So you can see from this chart here that our building for math especially, we had a higher percentage of level 2 students, which I was discussing with my principal and curriculum director, and they both had stated they had been in a training recently where they were all of a sudden saying that level 2 students aren't necessarily the target anymore, and that level 3 and level 4 is where we're wanting more of our kids to be. And prior to that, they had felt it had been communicated level 2 was like on grade level at the end of the year. So interesting to see that the state also had a slight increase in level 2s as well. For reading, we had some similar data again where our level 2s in our building, the percentage increased as well as level 1s, with a decrease in the level 4 and a slight increase in level 3. Science, we saw some increase in level 1, decrease in level 2, level 3, but an increase in level 4. So some interesting data there, as we saw improvement in both the top and bottom ends. And history and government, this is the first year of having data on that on the website for us, and so just interesting to compare that with where our district was at and also the state. Why do we exist? We have a goal of every student being successful within our building, and ultimately I think that's what we want as educators. We want students to feel success and be able to move on past school, and for that success to carry into adulthood. Where do we want to be? So as we've looked at KISA accreditation and just thought about some goals for our district, relationships is one big area, as well as relevance. And we've specifically been working on the relationship side of things by really seeking to make all students feel welcome and connected. We've been looking at trying to utilize Kagan structures to help with engagement, and hopefully that engagement will help students' test scores improve. Also, these Kagan structures are helpful for those soft skills that are promoted in adulthood. Where are the gaps? So this is our first year of having training in Kagan at our school, so we're continuing to still piece that together and grow in confidence in utilizing Kagan structures. We had talked some about doing some family groups to build some deeper connections with students, even more so, but that hasn't got started quite yet. A new bond issue passed, and so 5th, 6th grade students are going to be moving to the middle school in 2020, and so that's kind of a interesting transition period that we're in right now as we're kind of prepping for that. We have a new principal this year, and sometimes that takes time for everyone to get on board, but he's done a great job for our district. And we also have a new position within the district, our curriculum director, who's been phenomenal, but working on just aligning ourselves from grade level to grade level. How can we get to where we want to be? So we're looking at further Kagan trainings. We've had Kagan coaches coming in and observing us and continuing to do that. Starting up the family groups like we've talked about, I think will help out with the relationship side. Beginning planning for the transition of 5th and 6th grade out of our building. Like, I know 2020 is a little ways away, but it's important for us to go ahead and start kind of figuring out goals for us moving forward for our building being pre-K to 4 now. And then curriculum alignment, which our curriculum director's already done a phenomenal job coming in helping out with this. How will we implement? So just continue to take that next step forward, looking at getting some PLCs going within grade level teams, and you'll see the bullet point that says curriculum cadres. Our curriculum director's been discussing having curriculum cadres, so people who help game plan what curriculum is going to look like within our schools. Utilizing the BLTs, those have really taken off the last 2 years in our school. We've talked about visiting other schools, would be very helpful for us to just see some other success stories. And then professional development to continue to hit areas we need to improve upon. How will we evaluate how we're doing? So I think a big 2 things here are surveys. So seeing parent feedback, teacher feedback, student feedback will be really vital in letting us know if we're achieving our target. And then also the data will speak for itself. So continuing to monitor that. How are our students doing? Are we making improvements? And standards for this module, I looked at VG4C, interpreting information and communicating progress toward achievement of school vision and goals for educators in the community and other stakeholders. And ISTE2E, promote and participate in local, national, and global learning communities that stimulate innovation, creativity, and digital age collaboration. The reason I picked these 2 standards specifically for the VG4C, as I'm interpreting information within this module and communicating it would be helpful for holders to be aware. So whether that be the board, community members, etc. And then the ISTE standard listed there. This learning community that I'm currently in through Fort Hays, this is a great chance to learn from one another and get some good ideas. And that's huge, to be able to collaborate with people in the same field and learn from one another. So thanks for watching, and best of luck finishing up the rest of the modules this course.